That is why it's so important, the concept of the Emunah. As we know, Rabotai, my grandfather, Rabbi Moshe Aaron Pinto, Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Livracha, was a big tzaddik. Rabbi Moshe was known for being a mikubal, a tzaddik that not very. That is why it's so important, the concept of the Emunah. Rabbi Moshe Aaron Pinto, Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Livracha, my grandfather, was known as a big tzaddik, as we all know. The Torah that Rabbi Moshe Aaron Pinto left is and that is why it's so important with the Emunah. Rabbi Moshe Aaron Pinto, my grandfather, Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Livracha, was known, as we all know, as a big tzaddik all over the world. Rabbi Moshe was known as a mikubal, a tzaddik that saw everybody that misupar. I spoke to someone. I was sitting down at one time in Eretz Israel with a tzaddik that was very close to my grandfather. And one time when I sat with him, he was telling me that Rabbi Moshe, every single kid, every single person that would enter the shul, he would stand up and to give him respect. That was Rabbi Moshe. He was a very, very special tzaddik. Rabbi Moshe had a way of life, a way of thinking of life that was very extraordinary, and actually is a big yesod and something very, very big that we should all know. Rabbi Moshe would say that a person must look at every single small thing that happens in his world that he takes for granted, every single small thing that he understands as muvan me'elav, as a normal thing that must happen, as a bigness. Every single thing that happens to a person must look at it as a big miracle that happened to the person. And why is that? Rabbi Moshe would say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does big chesed with us, Bnei Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when He wants to take down and put a big miracle and a big blessing upon someone, if He brings down this miracle in a lo derech hateva, in a way that is unusual, and in a way that stands out as a miracle that is against the laws of nature, the Satan will recognize that blessing and recognize that bracha and that miracle and do his best to bring kitugim to avoid it from happening. So what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does is He brings down to the person nisim v'niflot, He brings down to the person miracles and bracha, but are masked and dressed as everyday things that happen, as the things that we take for granted, as the things that we are used to, in order for the Satan to not recognize this bracha and not recognize these big miracles that are actually hidden in the form of an everyday life situation. And he does that in order for Bnei Israel to be able to receive the bracha and to receive the miracles without the Satan doing any kitugim, without the Satan doing anything to try to avoid that bracha on happening on the person. And that is why, if a person wants to live a life of bracha and wants to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and everywhere he looks, he can look at anything and he can find any single small thing and find HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabbi Moshe, every single small thing that happened, he found a way to explain how this thing was a miracle. How, by this normal thing that most people perceive to be regular, he found a way to see it as a miracle. And actually, he would say that there are miracles that are hidden. So we can all learn and we can all let Hashem pray for those miracles that are hidden, that we don't need to be afraid that Chas v'Shalom the Satan will find or any ayin.